Hello and welcome to Plus Park. In today's video, I'm going to be planting up this new bed here between the stream and the pond. So it's a lovely spot between the two areas. And yeah, I'm going to fast forward and show you what it looks like in the future. I'll give you a sneak peek now, but you'll have to stay tuned to the end of the video to see the full picture. One of the first videos I created on my YouTube channel here, Plus Park, was all about making this bed here. Check that out if you haven't already, because it'll give you an idea of the work that we've done. It's mid-April and the bed has sunk down a little bit. There are a few weeds I need to clear and the builders have traipsed across it and left a couple of big bricks there. I've also got a couple of things I did plant, some crocus in there. They didn't flower this year, but hopefully next year. And a little primrose that I divided and needed a home for. So the first thing I need to do is clear the bricks and rubble and remove the weeds and then top up the soil in a couple of places where it's sunken down. Best get cracking on that. The next thing to do is to decide what I want to put here. If I had lots of money, I'd probably go to the garden centre and just pick out a whole plethora of plants to put in the bed here. As it is, I'm going to make do with what I've got. So I'm going to look at the beds that already have plants growing in them and see if there are any that I can divide and take plants from to put here. I'll also then go around and check out my pot plants and see which of those would be happy in a new home. Behind me, there are lots and lots of pots. I'm a bit of a magpie when it comes to plants, always taking cuttings where I can, growing lots of things from seeds, probably shopping a little bit too much. But that does mean that now that I'm putting a new bed together, I've got a good selection of plants to choose from to decide what to put there. Also, in the garden, I've got a few plants I'm going to dig up and divide and use some of those as well. So what I'm going to do is have a look at all my pots and decide which ones I definitely want to put in the bed. And I might have a few maybes that if there's space, I'll put them in as well. So I've now chosen all of the plants I want to put into the new bed. And now it's time for the fun part, deciding exactly what plants go where. Let's get started. So I think I'm happy with the final positions of all the plants, but what I'm going to do is sleep on it. Come and have a look again tomorrow with fresh eyes and see if anything needs a little bit of tweaking and a little bit of refining. Strongly recommend you do the same thing if you're creating your own garden bed. It's another day. Not quite as warm as it was yesterday. But I've had a good sleep and I have indeed changed my mind on the position of some of the plants. So first off, I've put a rose here, but then I was thinking last night, I kind of want to get the scent of the rose, so it would make more sense to have it next to the path here. So when you come down the path and turn the corner, you can get a blast of the lovely fragrance of roses. The other thing is, right at the end here, I have 3 variegated ivies which will trail over the edge of the bank here. 3 I've decided is too many, so I'm just going to put 1 in here and then put maybe 1 over there on the other side of the stream and 1 on this side a bit further up. So 2 of those are coming out. So there are 2 areas to this bed. This half here gets a decent level of sunlight. The sun comes up over there, goes across and sets over there. So this one's fairly okay. Further down is a little bit more shady, as we've got the canopy of this big ash tree behind us. For now though, I'm quite happy with how I have things planned for this area. It's this area here, with moving the rows down here and changing a couple of the other things, it's going to mean rejigging the rest of the planting. So I'm going to do that and then I'll get started on the planting. The plants are in their new homes and hopefully they'll soon settle in. A few plants are still in the greenhouse waiting for the temperatures to get a little bit warmer, and what I'll do is I'll take some photos of the locations of those so I know where to put them when the weather improves. Once those last plants are in the ground, I'll put a mulch of composted bark over the top of the whole bed just to make it look nice and tidy. Let's fast forward to the next stage. It's a few weeks later and the new bed is starting to look good. There are, however, a few gaps. So I've got some plants here that I'm going to pop in there. There's a hosta that I'm hoping will survive the slugs, an actea, an echium, which I grew from seed last year. Now, I've not had much luck with my echium, as you might have known if you've been watching some of my other videos. I've decided I'm going to treat them more as foliage plants, grow them from seed 1 year in pots, plant them out in the garden the following year, enjoy the foliage and not get my hopes up about them flowering, because the foliage itself is absolutely lovely and well worth growing them for. And then the other plant I have here is a trillium, which I'll pop down that end where it's a bit shadier. Okay, let's get them in. The next step is to put on a bark mulch. So I'm going to get on with that, but I might wait as it's just starting to rain. So I'm a fair weather gardener, so I'll come out and do that a bit later. I've finished mulching the bed here, and as well as providing a barrier to prevent weeds from growing through, it just looks nice and tidy. I'll give it a few more weeks just to let the plants fill out a bit more, and then I'll show you exactly what I've got growing here. Before I skip ahead though, I can't resist just sharing this with you. It's a beautiful valerian. It has a delightful talcum powder-like scent, a bit like the boudoir of an elderly countess. Not that I know what one of those smells like, but I can use my imagination. So that's lovely, I do like this one. And yeah, let's fast forward and see how everything is looking in a few weeks' time. And now we've made it through to winter. Most of the plants have died back. The echium over there is wrapped up in its horticultural fleece, hopefully to keep it nice and snug till the summer. I'm really pleased with how this bed has developed. There are a few tweaks I'll be making in the spring, but yeah, keep an eye on the channel and see what kind of changes I make. In the meantime, bye for now.